Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is the Two Old Farts coming at you. My name is Chuck.
I'm looking on the better looking at the two old farts.
Okay,
No argument.
it ain't worth it.
It is.
It ain't worth it.
That's what makes it fun. It has to be worth it, or it wouldn't be fun.
Dad, still just hearing you say it.
Uh, that's the way
No,
life
no loss or lack of confidence on your part, is there?
is. It's always something good for a laugh, a good way to start a conversation.
It is. It is.
So what's new with you? How was your concerts this week?
I didn't have any concerts this week.
I thought you went to Elvis Costello.
Oh yeah, yeah, we did on Monday. Shit. See, I told you I was getting old.
Shoot.
I'm making fun of you, just shuffling around before, getting everything ready, shuffling over here, shuffling over there.
Yeah, your mom said this morning, pick up your feet when you shuffle. You sound like an old man. I said, I am old.
Yeah. So yes, on Monday we got to finally see Elvis Costello. You don't know him, but he was pretty popular for a hot minute when I was a late teenager. Charlie Sexton. He's I think a year younger than me. He had a mild hit, maybe in 85, 84, 85 time, somewhere around that time frame. Anyway, he is in Elvis's band that's touring right now, and I guess he's done some time touring with Bob Dylan and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
But so yeah, we finally got to see Elvis Costello after he's been around 45 years or more.
Yeah, he's been around a while.
He's been around a long while.
Yeah, I was familiar with some of his work. I never.
Okay. Well, yeah, during that period of the late 70s, early 80s, I mean, it would be hard. You'd be hard pressed to not hear a song or two of his on the radio.
Yeah.
But the weekend before that, who did we go see?
I don't remember the name of the band, but I'm going to tell you we had a good time. I enjoyed the conversation. It was cold as heck.
We went to see Braxton Keith.
Yeah. He's going to be in Austin, I think, here pretty soon.
He's getting real big. So yeah, we went to Floors. We got there early. I'll tell you about the old folks and what they did just in a little bit. But needless to say, we were shocked that there were no tables. Normally, when you go to Floors, if it's an indoor concert, there's like 2 rows of tables on each side of the venue by the windows. This time there weren't any tables. So we were like, shit, what the hell we're going to do? We're old and we've been here since 7 o'clock. So we decided we would hang out outside right next to where the windows are and hear the band, because they had those big heaters out there. Those tall stand heaters that kind of radiate the heat out. And as my dad said, it was pretty damn cold. It was probably in the 30s, 40s.
Isn't high 30s, maybe low 40s at the most.
To put it in perspective,
30s when we left, high 40s while we were there mostly.
I'm in my 50s. You're almost 80. This is Texas. It was fucking cold. I mean, let's just not get it twisted. For us, that's cold. For you folks up north, that's probably t-shirt and sweatshirt, or shorts and sweatshirt weather. But for us, it was freaking cold. And out there on the porch, there were quite a few other folks in our age range, and it kind of became very communal. Got to hanging out with everybody and having a good time and listening to the music. And so yeah, funny story. Went to get my mom bourbon and Coke. She loves that Balcones bourbon, the red label. And so she had one, I had one. And I went to go get her another one. Unbeknownst to me, my dad had already gone and gotten her one. So when I came back, I've got 2. And he's pouring them like doubles. He's like, you want a double? I'm like, no, I'm good. So he just like, 1, 2, splash of Coke. So she's drinking hers. So now I'm two-fisting it. I'm drinking 2
and
Balcones, bourbon and Cokes.
And drinking a beer at the same time.
Well, I had just finished the beer and a bourbon and Coke before that. So needless to say, by the evening's end, I was feeling pretty good. My wife's like, yeah, I could tell you were getting there because you were getting real chatty. So, yeah, feeling good, feeling no pain. It was cold as hell. I had to keep turning the heaters back on because if you step too hard on the ground, the heater, for some reason, would just pop off. But back to the original story at the beginning, when we went to floors, I told my parents, hey, it's going to be indoors. So if you want to get a table to sit down, we got to get there early. So we get there, Brenda and I get there maybe 6:45. And I said, hey, I'm just going to go get in line. And when it gets about 5 minutes till, you can just come down and join me. I'm walking to floors, and I see a lot of people walking ahead of me. I'm like, dang, there's a lot of people coming early for Braxton Key. And I get there, and there's a line from the door all the way back to where the entrance is for the outdoor shows. And as I'm walking to get in the line, I hear my parents, hey, hey, hey. And I look, and I'm like, they're standing up at the front door. Nobody else is around them. And I'm like, what are y'all doing here? And they're like, oh, we got here. We already got our tickets. Look, see, they gave us our wristband. We just gave them our name, and they looked us up. And I'm looking around going, why are you guys here? Everybody else is in line over there. And I was like, I don't know. We just are standing here. So I call my wife, and I'm like, hey, parents are already here. Come join us. She's like, okay. So she starts walking pretty much in the same direction to go get in line like I was. And I'm like, hey, Brenda, we're over here. She's like, why are we still here? And I'm like, I don't know. My parents are just standing here. And I'm like, Mom, why are we still standing here? She's like, I don't know. We just got our tickets, and we're just standing here. I thought we were going to get thrown out of there. They came by. They gave me and my wife our wristbands. I guess the moral of the story is if you hang out with your parents and they're old and they're doing dumb things, just stick around with them. You never know. You might get to be the head of the line. But I don't know. So y'all didn't know that y'all weren't supposed to be there, right?
No, when I walked up, I saw this girl and a guy there with the table, and they were getting out bands and stuff, the wristbands and stuff. So I asked him, I said, we're going here or we're going over there? She said, come on up here. You can go in here. I said, okay. So I go up there. She said, do you have your ticket? I said, no, my son has them. And I gave him your name. She looked it up. She said, yeah, 4. And I said, my son and his wife will be here shortly. So she puts them on, and she said, I said, we stand here or we go down there? She said, no, you can stand over here. We'll let you stand over by the door. Okay. So I went back and confirmed that when you guys start walking up. And she said, yeah, you guys are right. You can, stuff like that. And then the guy came over and did the security check, right? Moves the thing. Right. Lets us go in the door ahead of all that crowd. So I'll say this. Who's about looking at the 2 old farts? Who got it?
You are.
Who got us in first? Your mom and I are talking
about sheer stupidity. I don't know. You just walk around confused, act like you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, and I guess people will take pity on you.
Yeah, that's right. That's what your mom said. We were just talking. She said, well, I told her, I said, I think just because we were older, probably a whole lot older than most of that group there, that they just said, okay, just being nice to 2 old farts, right? But it was a good evening. I enjoyed it. I've got my old hearing aids on, so they don't work nowhere near as good as the ones I'm getting next week or week after next now, the new hearing aids. But I enjoyed the conversation with the 2 guys and actually that lady that came up towards the end, her husband, I guess, was inside, so. But it was good conversations back and forth, Yeah, and the evening was good. It was fun. But I got to tell
it
you,
really was a lot of fun.
your mom doesn't
Bonding
get
together over alcohol, country music, and cold weather and a heater.
when we got home. I was starting to warm up. I don't know how, but somehow I hit your mom's butt. Boy, her butt was cold. Yeah, I had turned it when I was leaving. I said, "You want the seats on in the car?" She said, "Yeah, you can turn them on." So I turned them on. That's the first time, with clothes on and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty funny. It's the first time I ever felt your mom's butt that it was cold. So that's how cold it was out there, folks. And of course, every 15 minutes, your mom's got to go to the porta potties. Yeah. But that's what
I
makes
got to write that down. Mom had a cold butt.
that's what makes memories, right?
Yep.
So who we're going to go see next?
For sure, Blackberry Smoke in April.
Okay, that's good
Blackberry
because
Smoke.
the weather will be good.
April. Yeah, April 26th. It's a Friday night.
Okay, that Flores, right?
Yes, sir. April, it's a pretty busy month. Brenda and I will be seeing Adam Ant in the English Beat. I'm
Okay.
really looking forward to that. It'll be our second time seeing Adam Ant and first time seeing English Beat. 2 nights later, on a Friday, we will be seeing Social Distortion and Bad Religion. I'm really stoked for that show. It'll be my second time seeing Social D, first time seeing Bad Religion. Great to see them together. And then the following week, Brenda and I are going to go see Terry Clark. And the next night is Blackberry Smoke.
All right. Sound like you got a good agenda coming up there.
Yep. And then in March, Brenda and I are going to go see Brian Setzer. And 2 nights later, I'm going to go see Municipal Waste. They're kind of like an 80s throwback thrash metal band kind of a thing. A little bit of a punk edge. 2 weeks later, I'm seeing the Descendants and the Circle Jerks. So this is kind of like a big punk rock year for me.
All right.
Descendants, Circle Jerks, Social D, Bad Religion. Yeah. Some really good punk stuff going on. February, I'm really looking forward to this. Seeing Machine Head, Fear Factory, Orbit Culture, and Gates of Hell. That's going to be a really sick show. That's on a Sunday night. Capping it off on a Friday right after that's Godsmack. Really looking forward to that as well. So yeah, the concerts are starting to pick up in February, March, April. Rolling out to May. Oh man, this is going to be a rager. Amon Amarth, Cannibal Corpse, Obituary, Frozen Soul. That's going to be a sick show.
Okay.
And then at the end of the month, I'm seeing Saxon and Uriah Heep. Man, Uriah Heep, they go all the way back to the early 70s. It's kind of an odd pairing, but really looking forward to that as well. So yeah, it's a pretty good concert series coming up through late spring.
Got enough to keep you busy for a while, huh?
Yeah, for a little bit. Last weekend, Brenda's mom's in the hospital, so she spent some time with her there. So I just kind of bummed around the house and just didn't kind of feel like doing anything. That's why we didn't do a podcast. And then this past week, I'm in what the Air Force calls initial qualification training, IQT, for the CDA weapon system. And I'll be in there all this week and then half of the next week. So
Brenda's mom doing okay?
Yeah, she's still in the hospital. They really don't know what it is. They thought it was UC, but it doesn't look like it's that. So they're still running tests, still trying to figure things out. And she's still there. So good, but not good, you know? Yeah, it's not getting better, but they're running a lot of tests, MRIs, think she's getting an upper GI on Monday. They're doing a lot of blood work, so they're really being aggressive and getting after this to try to figure out what's going on with her. So Brenda's been gone every day of the week. I've been getting home late because the class starts at 8 and doesn't get out till 4. So by the time I get back with traffic, it's like 5 or almost 5, and then I got to do all this crap to get ready for the next day. Shit, I don't feel like doing no damn podcast after that.
And I hope they find out what's wrong with Brenda's mom real quick.
I do too, but you know what? When you don't do a podcast, the numbers kind of reflect that too.
Oh, is that right? Uh-oh.
Yeah, man. We've only had 3 downloads in the last week. I think we've done maybe 55 in the last 30 days.
Uh-oh. We got to have to get after this after you get settled down a little bit.
So, yeah, I got to be a little more aggressive. I tried to do one with you Saturday, but you were busy.
Yeah, I went to see Aubrey's daughter, Braylon. She was volleyball and this intramural, this the community type program, because she's on the school team too at where she goes to middle school. But it went out there, and then Uncle Bobby was there. Man, I'm gonna tell you, he's doing really good. The treatment he's been getting from the VA has been just top notch. He's no longer with the fluid buildup. They readjusted his pacemaker. I was laughing at him yesterday. Now, Uncle Bobby's just 5 years younger than I am.
Right.
And yet they adjusted his pacemaker. He did a real brisk walk to his car. Felt good. Then when he got to his house, he run up the sidewalk to the house. He felt real good. So and a few other things. He's doing real good. No longer having the fluid build up like he was having, and those kind of things. Just got to give a shout out to the Audie Murphy Clinic there. They've really done a great job with him. And our good friend Leon Collins, who's the commander of our DAV post, is getting ready to have surgery. He has a tumor on his brain. So
ain't good.
It's going to be at the Methodist Hospital over by where you live in Stone Oak.
Okay.
So we'll keep him in the prayers and stuff like that. So, but I'll tell you, we got to give a shout out to. I think by and large, the care we're getting through the VA system is pretty good, at least here in San Antonio.
Exactly. At least here in the South Texas healthcare system, now I'm sure there's still going to be little pockets, but even in here that somebody isn't getting the best possible care that they could. But if in your area or region, if the care isn't as good as you think it can be or should be, reach out to your elected representatives and let them know. And
Absolutely.
Reach out to the VA as well, because the level of care has gotten a lot better in the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, it absolutely has.
And whenever you see these, if you're log on to the DAV website, stuff like that, you can do that. And you can see there's a lot of bills that the DAV is supporting. And we need to let our congressmen and senators know how we feel about those things.
Absolutely.
I did something the other day I don't normally do. I got one from our congressman from San Antonio about supporting the bill, and he just all this flowery speech, and I just sent him a thing back. Well, are you not going to support it? I don't really care about who introduced this bill. They're talking about if you have a disability and you can't work, to reducing that down, changing the age limit on it. Where right now, once you get it, it's permanent. And they're trying to change the age limit down that it stops at 65. That's just not right. And that's one of the few things that that we support and stuff like that. We just need to make sure we let our people know the vote is really important for whatever your political persuasion is. But anyway, did you see the thing about Coach DeBoer and LSU?
No, I didn't. I mean, I've been following up pretty closely with Coach DeBoer.
I'm really pleased with what I see so far. Of course, until we start playing the games, it won't make any difference, when you see what happens. But he was on the Pat McAfee show, and they were trying to get him to talk in his Alabama wing or whatever it is, stuff like that. And he made a comment. He says he took a shot at LSU Kelly. He says he don't do accents, even fake ones. Everybody got a big kick out of that one. I guess at one time when Kelly went to LSU, he did one of those accents. LSU.
It slipped the southern, but it just slipped right in.
Yeah. So.
And then it slipped right back out.
Yeah. I saw another article this morning. It was about 10 coaches who has a chance of winning a national championship next year. Coach DeBoer was rated number 7.
Well, yeah, it's his first year out, and he's dealing with a lot of transfer portal issues on the outgoing side. He's doing as best he can on the incoming side, and I understand with these young men, especially if you grade out as a first or second round draft choice for the NFL. I mean, that's the big time. That's the meal ticket. That's what all these kids have put in that hard work since middle school to get to this point, to go to a top flight college so you can get to the NFL. And, it hurts as a fan to see all of these great players leaving the university, but, they got to go where they've got the best shot.
Absolutely. Don't disagree. And it's starting to settle down a little bit. I get the anxiety, first come in because you're not sure. And then after you get a chance to meet with him and his coaches, because that coaching staff's not settled yet either. The guys that recruited you and they're leaving. So I get all that, but it's starting to settle down a little bit. He's getting some transfer in, some 4s and 5s, star people.
I wish that Isaiah Bond had stayed. I really liked his style, and I think he hadn't really shown everything that he was capable of doing.
I totally agree.
Because I think there were some set pieces that were missing on offense this past season. And frankly, it's been missing, the last couple of seasons, and that's the O-line. I mean, there's been gaps.
Yeah, we had the center from Washington transferred in. The starting center from Washington, and a couple of others. One of the things that I saw that I liked, there's been a couple of players that opted out of the transfer portal to stay in, and then we got a 4-star edge.
I just saw that he committed.
Yeah, he committed, and one's transfer. We got a 5-star that committed. We got a 4-star that's transferring in. So I think it's starting to settle down a little bit, and I was looking at some other things this morning and how good at recruiting he is. But Paul Feinbaum was talking about the SEC recruiting is just a little bit different than what it is in the out west of the Pac-12 and those kind of things. So we'll see how it goes. So, but I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the season.
I could not be any happier with the hire of Kalen DeBoer. I mean, granted, his resume isn't as deep as Nick Saban's was when he came, with that pattern of excellence. I mean, what he did at Michigan State, LSU, 2 stints in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? His resume isn't as exquisite as Nick Saban's was. But in that short tenure and on what he's been able to do, he ain't been none but a winner wherever he's been.
Now, I said it last podcast, I see a lot of that Wallace Wade, Frank Thomas transition. When Frank Thomas come in, it was kind of a very similar situation that Coach DeBoer is in. And, when you're reading about the history and how they did things and stuff, I'm excited about it. I think I think we're going to be okay.
And to me, the icing on the cake, the cherry on the top, is the fact that this guy is 7-0 against Sarkisian, Dan Lanning, and who else did he beat? Oh, it escapes me. There's a third coach.
He beat Michigan. He beat Harbaugh.
No, he did not. He lost to Harbaugh.
Okay.
Yeah, Washington State lost to Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Washington State beat Texas, but they beat Oregon. They beat Texas, and there's another coach.
At USC.
Yes, I think it's Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
I think he's beaten Lincoln Riley as well.
Yeah. It's going to be good, and I thought that article that I was reading that in his first year there, they're talking about 10 coaches, that are new coaches, and I'm wishing this guy Michigan. I don't care for Michigan at all. And Harbaugh is going back to the NFL, and the coach here got promoted. I hope he does well. I kind of like him.
Yeah, he's going to the Chargers.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be as successful. Maybe his second time around's the charm. I don't know. But because, like I said, he was not as successful as people think he was at San Francisco.
No,
I mean, you have to dig in, and he inherited a team that was top to bottom with talent, loaded down. And you had to go back to Mike Singletary and Coach Nolan, who drafted all of these players. And you go back to Mike Singletary. They only gave him 1 year, Dad. 1 year. This guy was on the 85 Bears defense. That was a hard-hitting guy. And San Francisco's defense, while he was there, top-notch. These are the things that got the 49ers to the Super Bowl. They didn't give him enough time or credit, Singletary, to get him there. So then you got Harbaugh backing into this awesome deal, and he gets the credit because they go to the Super Bowl.
It takes a coach a couple of years to kind of settle down and get things going, because no two people are going to do the same thing the same way. So another article I was reading this morning, who the 10 best players from Alabama are, the alumni. You got any idea who those 10 best are?
The 10 best? Obviously, Joe Willie.
He was number 10. Number 9 was Julio.
I would also say Derrick Henry.
Number 8.
Hang on. Jalen?
Ozzie Newsome.
Oh, Ozzie Newsome.
Number 7. Ken Stabler, number 6.
Ooh, the snake.
Derek Thomas, number 5.
Defense.
Dwight Stevenson, number 4. Ken Stabler was number 6.
Right.
Don Hudson's number 3.
Oh, nice. Going way back.
John Hanna was number 2.
Ooh, he was a great center.
Way back, yeah. Number 1 was Bart Starr. And Bart Starr's father worked in civil engineers at Maxwell when we were there.
All right.
I think I may have said that. I'm not sure, but got to know him, not personally, but
that's some pretty good talent right there.
Yep, you're right. That is some top talent, and especially what strikes me is you go back in history, you see Don Hudson, the number 3, and there's a tendency to forget about those guys, how good they were and what the impact they were and stuff like that. And then there's a lot of controversy about Joe Namath, saying he wasn't the best player, but you look at what he did and how he did things, and people overlooked it. 4,000 yards passing.
Football wasn't the same when Joe Willie came up either. It was not a passing league. Exactly. It was a 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Passing was like a last resort.
Yep. And then you go out and make a promise, we're going to win. And then you back it up. So, but you're right.
He was so far ahead of his time as a player when you go back and you really look at how brash and boisterous and that swagger that these kids talk about, he had it back then.
Yes, he did. And he could back it up. But you know what? He didn't forget his roots either. He never forgot where he came from. So
no, he didn't. But he had a lot of injuries, and he wasn't on that great of a team. And back then, they didn't have free agency. You were kind of stuck with that team.
And the rules about protecting the quarterback was a whole lot different back then than they are now.
Man, them jokers used to try to take your head off.
And that was the other comment they were talking about in that little article. Was his knees, how bad his knees was, and then how great of a player. Think about, had his knees been good or been much better than what they were, what kind of player he would have really have been. Yeah, so it's fun to go back and look at some of that kind of stuff. So, well, who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's going to win today? The Chiefs versus the Ravens, and the Lions versus the 49ers. How do you think that's going to come out?
Well, I want the Chiefs, and
me too.
I want the Niners.
Well, I'm kind of rooting for the Lions. I don't know why. It just goes back what they've done this year. I kind of like the coach there, and it's been how many years? 30 years, something like that, since they've been there.
I don't think the Lions have ever been to the Super Bowl.
So the playoffs. So it's been like 30-something years since they've been to the playoffs in the playoff system.
Nope, they have not been to a Super Bowl.
Right, but
in the Super Bowl era.
Right, and they've been to they made the playoffs about 30 years ago, or in the playoffs, not made it, but in the playoffs.
So yeah, the teams that have not been are the Browns, the Jags, the Texans, and the Lions.
Yeah, be interesting to see how that goes, and I think they'd be pretty good games. And the conspiracy theories have the Ravens and the 49ers.
The conspiracy theorists or Vegas money?
Yeah, Vegas money.
Well, yeah, that would be a rematch of Super Bowl 47 or 48. When remember it was Harbaugh versus Harbaugh, Jim versus John, and then they had the blackout that the power was lost. Remember?
Oh yeah,
in the dome. Because the 49ers were getting the brakes beat off of them in that game.
Yeah.
That was Ray Lewis's last Super Bowl too.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be good. I've kind of watched the NFL just a little bit this year. They haven't had as much of the distractions as they had in the previous years. They just kind of turned me off from watching the games and stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, not a fan of the distractions.
No, me either. I think there's a time and place for all things.
I agree, and I'm happy to see that attention has been brought towards certain areas and certain issues, and they woefully need to be addressed. I like to keep my things separate, and that's just me. I don't have a problem with players having comments or ideas. I think at the sporting event is not the place. That's me personally.
I totally agree. I think there's a place for all things in the right venues, because that's why we do what we do. We give people the right to have those thoughts and those ideas and to be able to express them.
Absolutely.
But there's a right place and a right time and a right venue to do all things. We need to be respectful of each other's thoughts and those kind of things. But anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, football. Oh man, the only thing we got left is National Signing Day in February. Then we have the NFL Combine, and then the draft.
Yeah.
But between the Combine and the draft, there's that the Super Bowl. That's it.
Yeah. In April, we'll look at the 8A game. I'm excited about that, even though you don't see a whole lot. But I'm excited about it. Because then you only got.
I don't even know if the game's going to be televised or not.
It probably won't, but I don't know. It's just, you never know. It's all about money, right?
Yeah, it is. But
And whoever's going to draw the biggest crowd would make the most money.
well, right now, legitimately, they're the big dog.
I'm going to tell you, I like Kirby Smart.
I do too. He's
done
a heck of a job.
He came into Alabama. He earned his way. He was true to us. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be true to him. I'm going to respect him.
He could have left many, many times to go to many different programs, but he was waiting for the right time to go to Georgia.
And he made the right decision, and I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for Georgia.
Nick Saban lobbied for him to get that job.
You're right.
That's how much he thinks of Kirby.
Yep.
And I told you before the SEC championship game, they had the two of them sitting together. Maybe it was on a Thursday or Friday night. Man, they were just going back and forth and laughing, just having a great time. And you could tell that the chemistry between them is genuine. It's not fake or made up.
You're right. The respect is there. Now, I was reading this, talking about that Paul Feinbaum, talking about him going on the game day. Feinbaum said he would be funny, but he don't think he's cut out for it. It's too much. Hey, coach, wait just a minute. We'll be right with you. And then a few minutes later, you got to wait, and you come back on the air, and all those guys. He said he just didn't see coach being that type of person, and he's probably right.
No. He and Belichick are cut from the same cloth when it comes to that. They don't put up with those types of distractions. They want to be. If they're in charge, they're going to be in charge, and they're going to control the time, space, and tempo of everything.
Exactly. That's what makes them fun too. But anyway, be interesting to see where Belichick winds up at. Huh?
I don't think he's going to wind up anywhere. He ain't got a job yet. I don't know if he wants another job.
He may not. Just Atlanta's already hired somebody. Some of the other places, though.
Who knows?
He may just take a year. He don't need the money. It's just a matter of what he wants to do. Just like Saban, I saw this morning. I forgot where they were at now, but he's on a boogie board, riding away.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Enjoying himself. That's the way it should be.
Well, have you looked at the clock, old man?
I see. We're almost at 40 minutes.
Yeah, and you didn't think we were going to have nothing to talk about.
Well, you asked me what I said. I said nothing. You said nothing too. So
you said, "What do you got to talk about?" I'm like,
we made 40 minutes out of nothing, right?
Sure did.
Well,
but we gave it our all, though.
Tell Brenda, give her mom a hug for us. We're praying for her.
I appreciate it. I'm sure she does too, and she needs it. And same thing with Mr. Collins. I hope that everything is successful for him and for his, his family, with what they're going through.
Yeah, well, he said probably about 3 or 4 days. If everything goes well, 3 or 4 days in the hospital, and then there's a 2 to 3 week rest at home before he'll, depending on how it goes, he'll be able to get out and do things and stuff like that. And then he has some other health. He and I met yesterday. He has some other health issues too. He has some lymph nodes and some problems and some other issues too. Got my prayers for Leon. He's probably not as good a shape we think he is.
Correct. Yeah. Well, all right, everybody. Thank you all for listening. Again, our apologies for not being as regular as we should be. And I guess you all are letting us know about the number of downloads, and we will endeavor to get better.
Y'all have a good day, and we love all of you guys, and be safe out there.
All right. Y'all take care. All right.
All right.
Later,
Love
Dad.
You. Bye.
Love you too.